Candace Owens has just dropped one of the most explosive cases against Turning Point USA we have ever seen. And it goes so much deeper than just a simple disagreement. From a bizarre debate stunt to mysterious Egyptian military planes landing in Provo, Utah, all the way to powerful media figures turning her assassination claims into a running joke. The pattern she's laying out does not look like an innocent misunderstanding. It looks like a coordinated effort to control a narrative and to shut down some very uncomfortable questions. In this video, we're going to do something simple. We're going to walk through Candace's main points, piece by piece, and ask a straightforward question. Does this all sound like a baseless conspiracy theory? Or does it sound like someone is asking questions that powerful people really do not want answered? Let's get into it! First, let's start with that so-called debate with Turning Point USA. According to Candace, TPUSA went public, announcing a big, formal live stream to respond to her claims. They set a specific time, a specific date, and even gave her a 24-hour ultimatum to show up. Here is the catch. They apparently did all of this without actually coordinating any of the details with her first. Now, Candace argues this was never an honest attempt to sit down and hash out the facts. She calls it a public relations move, a stunt. Think about it. You set the rules of the game by yourself. You create a very narrow window that you know the other person can't realistically meet. And then you get to go to the public and say, hey, we offered her a debate, but she refused to show up. It's a clever way for TPUSA to look transparent while making sure that the one person asking the toughest questions is kept completely out of the room. It's about controlling the stage, not finding the truth. Next up is the most shocking part of this entire story, the Egyptian planes. Candace is basically claiming that TPUSA is involved in a cover-up regarding what she refers to as Charlie Kirk's public assassination. And how are they doing that? By refusing to engage with the foreign military angle at all. They just won't touch it. She brings the focus to Egyptian military aircraft operating around Provo, Utah, right around the time of these events. She glances at the flight manifest and sees a name. Walid Mahmoud, or maybe Wid Mahmoud, it's from an Egyptian plane. Tail number SUBTU. Pretty cool, right? Now, why is that tail number significant? Because open source researchers have connected that very same plane to use by Egypt's own president back in 2023. So here's the point Candace is making. She's not saying, I have every single detail solved. And here's exactly what happened. She's asking a much more fundamental question. Why is there a foreign dignitary using a suspicious-sounding name, flying on a private jet that has been tied to the Egyptian president, showing up in the timeline around Charlie's death and around Erica's movements? And why does nobody at TPUSA seem the slightest bit curious about this? These are serious, unanswered questions. These aren't things you just wave away as a coincidence. You don't just ignore a foreign military presence connected to a high-level political event. Then the rest. The way the media and all the TPUSA-aligned influencers have handled her claim that French intelligence tried to assassinate her. Instead of seriously engaging with the claim or looking at the evidence she presented, many of them just turned it into a punchline. They made it a joke. Candace points to people like Ben Shapiro, Greg Gutfeld, Tim Pool, and she even highlights a moment in a Pentagon press room where a reporter asks about her assassination claim, prefacing it with the words, "Don't laugh." And of course, the room erupts in laughter anyway. She frames this as a coordinated public relations campaign, not just random, harmless humor. The strategy is simple. If you can convince the public that the very idea of serious plots, foreign intelligence, and targeted hits is laughable and absurd, then you never have to actually address the evidence directly. From her perspective, their jokes aren't harmless at all. They're a form of gaslighting. They're a way to make the audience think, well, if all these big, important names are laughing at this, then asking these kinds of questions must be crazy. And that reaction, conveniently, protects the very same establishment narratives that those figures and their organizations benefit from. It's a way to shut down inquiry before it even starts. Another huge theme in Candace's recent breakdown is emotional manipulation. She accuses TPUSA leaders and their religious allies of hiding behind emotional stories about Charlie and using heavy spiritual language instead of just answering direct, factual questions. Think about the contrast. Instead of focusing on timelines, financial records, security footage, and foreign aircraft, the conversation gets shifted. It becomes about testimonies of what a great man Charlie was, how devoted his wife Erica is, and how any suspicion of insiders is somehow unchristian or disrespectful to his memory. Candace's point isn't that Charlie wasn't a good person. Her point is that in any real, serious investigation, you have to look close to home. That's just standard procedure. And using religion and emotion to shut down that line of inquiry is a manipulative tactic. She insists that audiences today are hungry for something completely different. They're tired of the spin. They want raw, authentic truth-telling, even when that truth makes our side look bad or feel uncomfortable. In that sense, she is positioning herself as the one person in this space willing to say the quiet part out loud, while it seems everyone else is hiding behind feelings and faith-based language to avoid accountability. Finally, look at where she takes this for the ordinary people watching at home. Between all the chaos, all the specific details about planes and debates, Candace keeps coming back to a much bigger pattern. She describes a corrupt system that she compares to the TPUSA system that includes not just political organizations like TPUSA, but also the media, the schools, and big pharma. Her call to action for her audience is for people to go max. What does that mean? It means rejecting fear. It means pulling their kids out of public schools that they see as captured and controlled by that system. And it means refusing to send their sons to fight in foreign wars for elites who do not value their lives. She is connecting the dots between Charlie's death, the mysterious foreign aircraft, and the media's dismissive response, linking it all to a much larger worldview. That worldview says that the very institutions asking for your loyalty cannot be trusted with your children, your health, or your sacrifices. By stripping away the PR spin and the gatekeeping, she's telling her audience, you are going to have to build your own parallel communities, your own parallel education systems, and your own parallel economies, because the people in charge will not protect you even when one of their own is killed in broad daylight. So, after laying all of that out, here's the question we're left with. Does this sound like a random, unhinged conspiracy rant? Or does it sound like someone connecting dots that the establishment desperately wishes would stay separate? TPUSA is scheduling games. Their absolute refusal to seriously touch the subject of the Egyptian planes. And the way that major conservative voices have worked to turn assassination talk into a comedy bit all seems to point in one direction. There's something here they do not want examined. You do have to agree with every single inference that Candace makes to admit that her core instincts here are sound. Questioning the foreign military presence, questioning the money, and questioning the PR spin that is exactly what any honest movement should be doing after one of its leaders is killed. So, I want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Candace is overreacting and seeing connections that aren't there? Or do you think she's the only one actually acting like Charlie's life and the truth about his death still matter? Let me know. Thanks for watching! And if you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more.